journaling time.
Hey, what's up, party
Hello.
people?
Hi.
Say
happy
what's up in the
Wednesday.
chat. Let us know who's here. Good to see you all. I know I need tonight's session. How you doing?
Just fun, stressful things, but here we are, and so we are
doing it live.
ready.
All right. I'm hoping we get some new people in the mix. We've had a bunch of new challengers sign up.
Hello.
See, we got Angela's in the house. What's
Hi
up,
there.
Angela? Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna give everyone a couple minutes to trickle in. Oh wow, we just got a ton of messages all of a sudden. Awesome. What's up, Tanya?
Hi there.
Okay, Angela's a newbie. Well, you're probably in good company tonight because we've been running ads. So glad that you found us. Glad that you made it here tonight. I'm Alex. This is Alex. We're married.
Yes.
She spells her name with an I.
So
it
makes me extra special.
Yeah, extra, exactly. We got Geeky Witch here. What's good?
There,
What's good? Shanda's here. Gonna pay more attention to the prompts in the hockey game. You know what? Hockey's
fun. And
got Letty Cervantes is back.
hello.
Good to see you again. Deidre, what's up? Tori's in the house. All right. So, well, while we wait for a few more people to trickle in, let's give you the lay of the land. So, I already introduced us, Alex and Alex. We are the resident party people here at Journal Party. Although you guys are all party people too, and if you're really into it, you can be a party animal. So anyway, what you're seeing slowly being revealed on your screen is the Journal Party guided journaling platform. And on here, we have all sorts of really great guided journaling programs for you. And one of our favorite things to do is debut the newest programs here on Journal Party Live. One of the new developments or new-ish developments here at Journal Party is we now have a mental health advisory board made up of mental health professionals who are able to take a look and collaborate on some of these prompts with us so that we are, really giving you guys your money's worth, right? Making sure that everybody is, not just journaling into the abyss alone, but with some solid credentialed support. So this is actually one of the newest programs to make it through our mental health advisory board, and it's called The Weight of What's Next. Alex, did you want to give us a little bit of a primer on this one? Because I know you picked it.
Yeah, no. So we also called it Empowered Expectations. So we're just going to take a look at some of the expectations that we have, from ourselves and others, and just a better way of handling that. And maybe you want to go ahead and read the...
Sure, I'll read the description for everybody. We often carry invisible maps for how our lives, our work, and our people are supposed to behave. This program invites you to look at these internal scripts with kindness so you can decide which ones are yours to keep and which are just heavy baggage, or as I like to call it, head garbage. We've all got all these things, we develop ways that things need to be, or certain, erroneous expectations, and all of these constraints, they can be tough when I think personally, it's my belief that, we are all perhaps limitless beings when you strip away a lot of these self-imposed constraints. So, I think you're in for a treat. We've got 5 journal prompts for you this evening. We're going to spend about 4 minutes per prompt for a total of 20 minutes of guided journaling. My wife and I will take turns reading the prompt and journaling alongside you. And then at the very end, we all hang out and we share our insights. And so you'll probably see a lot of people saying what's up to each other in the chat. One of my favorite things about this is how, we've got some regulars, right? And we've also got new people as well. But, I'm really proud to say that this is an experience that it's hard not to come away from it with something, and in that light, it's something that I hope that you'll want to return to again and again. So we do this every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, unless life happens. It's pretty rare for us to miss a week, and usually we try to reschedule it if we do. But these are free Journal Party Live events every Wednesday night, mostly hosted on YouTube Live. Sometimes Facebook is friendly with us, and they will stream it as well. But as was the case tonight, they just were like, "Nah, we're not going to stream it." So I don't know. We've got some really weird technical issues going on in the background, but YouTube's been pretty good for this. So you can always count on YouTube. Go ahead and make sure that you hit the subscribe and the bell icon because that's how YouTube will notify you as well. And of course, if you're on our email list, hopefully you're getting the emails that we send out. But you know how it is these days with everybody's inboxes getting clogged and all sorts of things. So if you really want to keep up with the reminders, it's always a good idea to get the YouTube app and to make sure that you're subscribed and that you have the notifications turned on for our channel. See, we've got some interesting things showing up in the chat. So before we get started, let's take a quick look, make sure everything's addressed. Oh, wow. All right. So we got a nice little group. All right. Gary's here from Hudson Valley. Crazy week. Yeah, same. One of my favorite things, too, is that we do this on Wednesday, and it's just such a nice way to break up the week. I'm usually bringing a lot of stress into these sessions personally, and I am usually just... I'm so happy after these sessions just because it's so nice to just, spend time working on yourself and then working on yourself with other people who are also working on themselves. It's like a really beautiful thing. So I'm really glad that you found us if you're new, and I think you're going to really like what we do. Geeky Witch saying hi again. I think I scrolled up too far. Yeah, I did. These were the early ones. Okay, cool. We got... AHAF handwriting analysis. I'm here to journal. It helped me so much last week. Glad you enjoyed it. Rex in the house. Hey. I have enough room for tonight's session. I need a new journal. Same. Oh my goodness. You probably have seen, I just picked out a new journal. You've probably seen the videos of me on Facebook or Instagram, but I've got like it's a little more than 4 pages, but very close to finishing this journal. There are wide lines on this one, so I've been getting through it faster than anticipated, but I already got my new journal picked out, so I'm pumped. Tanya's got some new pens. Oh, you guys.
That's exciting.
Yeah. All right. Tip from a handwriting analysis. Neat writing shows respect and caring for the person who has to read it. And in this case, I guess that would be you, right? Mm-hmm. Geeky Witch says, Deidre, isn't that a great feeling? Sloppy writing, if it's only for yourself, shows your mind is faster than your hand. That is often the case in my journals. It's always a treat when I discover writing that's easy to read, because like you said, it's like it was done with care, and I feel like those are like the notes that I left for my future self, and then I just have to sift through all of like the madness that is my day-to-day. Awesome. First timer, Maritza Martinez. Awesome. Kathy's in the house. All right. Well, everyone say hello to our newbies, and I think it's about time to get this party started. So Alex, do you want to do the odds or the evens tonight?
I will start us off, so I will do odds.
Good deal. All right. The weight of what's next. If you're ready to journal, if you're not ready to journal, open up that journal, get your pen ready. But if you are ready to journal, let us know in the chat, and we'll get started in just a minute. Let me get the ticker going for us here. All right, we all ready? Shrink us down here. All right, Lady Alex, take it away.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me turn off our... No, we'll leave it.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Sorry, guys. A little side chatter here. Here we go. Light mode this evening. Okay.
All right. The silent pressure. Think of a specific expectation you feel currently pressing on you, whether it comes from yourself or someone else. How does this weight feel in your body as you think about it? And what is the specific story it tells you about what will happen if you do not meet it?
The old blueprint. Recall a time when you first realized you were trying to live up to a standard that was not actually your own. What was the situation, and what were the emotions you felt when you noticed the gap between who you were and who you thought you had to be?
The quiet relief. Imagine a scenario where you are completely free from the need to get it right or be enough for a day. How does the air feel in that space? And what is the first thing you would do if you were not worried about the outcome or the judgment of others?
The relational script. Think about a relationship where you feel a constant pressure to perform or to be a certain way. What do you imagine that person expects from you, and how does that belief change the way you actually show up when you're with them?
A new measure. Reflect on a small, realistic way you can lower the bar for yourself today in a way that feels like a relief rather than a failure. What would it look like to prioritize your own well being over the rigid script of how things should be?
All right.
We thought we had more time.
I thought we had a little more time. That felt like maybe a glitch. I don't know. Anyway, I was caught up in my writing. I hope you all were too. Let us know how you did in the chat. Get us there. There we go. Take down the ticker.
All right, guys. Just a heads up, you might be hearing some squeaking. That is our dog. He is having a really good time playing. We love that. We may have to take away the squeaky in a moment. We'll see. So we apologize in advance, but he is so happy right now. So if you saw us giggling throughout, that is because he was grabbing every toy and just running amok and squeaking and squeaking and squeaking. So yes, anyways, yes, please let us know how that went for everyone. Yeah, okay. People are saying, yeah, that went super fast. So I apologize. Maybe there was a glitch of some kind with that last timer. So sorry about that.
Take a moment, take a deep breath, finish your thought if you need to. You know, we've got plenty of time here, and I certainly don't want to cast any more difficult expectations on anybody here. So, you know, I think also, you know, just in general, like that's a good rule of thumb with what we do here is, you know, don't overthink this. Don't take anything too seriously. If you have, you know, more in there, you know, don't feel the need to drop the pen and engage right away. Like, you know, take what you need from this practice. And ultimately, I hope that, you know, we provide enough different ways for you to engage with the practice that you find what works for you. I think, you know, there's no wrong way to do it, but I do find that as I explore different ways to engage with journaling as practice that, you know, that there are certain things that speak to me a little bit more, and I lean a little bit more into those, get a little bit more out of them. But, you know, I know that my experience is obviously going to be different from everybody else. So, and, you know, that said, also give us the feedback, you know, let us know what, you know, what we can do to improve. And also like what, you know, if you, are feeling, you know, so creative, you think like, oh, this would be really cool to have, like, let us know, because, you know, we have been on a tear just implementing new features and making all sorts of really cool things on this guided journaling platform for you. So anyway, that was awesome for me. I mean, this is a program that I could probably stand to do maybe every couple months or something like that. Oh, absolutely. I just in journaling through it, you know, it made me realize like how much, our dogs are going crazy. It made me realize just how much, you know, these perceived expectations or, you know, ideas about the way it should be or how I should be, show up in my life, not just in my, not just in like physical output and like the work that I do and things like that, but like energetically. And what was interesting in these prompts, you know, a lot of times I'm very much, you know, in the physical world documenting what's going on. This happened today and whatever. This was, I found myself writing a lot about like just the energy that these, you know, these different expectations lead to, and therefore how that actually shows up in the outputs, you know, the work that I do. And wow, I'm so happy for him. But our dog, by the way, he's been a little sick lately. And so the, you know, seeing him like just run amok in the background, I know it might be a little bit annoying, but it's making my heart sing. So I'm pleased. But yeah, anyway, this was a really good journey for me. I mean, the other thing I noticed is like a lot of lessons that I maybe have learned or need to learn keep presenting themselves over and over in different costumes or like different ways. Do, yes. Yeah. So you know, it's always fun to dance with those, you know, over and over again. I think, you know, life has a funny way of giving you, you know, kind of the same lesson over and over again until you really learn it, until you really actually, you know, adopt it and change accordingly. So, you know, there's definitely some adjustments that need to be made on my part. And they're good ones though. It was nice to feel like I ended this in a good place with a, you know, kind of a good plan for how, you know, I can take this into my daily life. What about you?
Yeah, so this was a very interesting experience for me. And I even wrote, I have a very interesting experience and relationship with expectations in general. So I grew up in a home. This is our crazy little bunny, Bowie. We're just gonna, he needs a little break. He's going a little too crazy. But yeah, I growing up didn't feel like I had traditional pressures of being successful, making sure my grades are the best. It was really interesting. I grew up with a parent, my late father, who was a narcissist, and there's a lot of expectations when you are the child of a narcissist to essentially follow in their footsteps. And I just made some really interesting observations that, especially as I, got into my young adulthood and thought about what I want to do with the rest of my life. A big part of that was following in his footsteps. And I knew that would be like the one way that I would get as much support and encouragement as I could possibly ever, want or need. But I would just have to kind of go down that particular path. And, I'm happy to say that I've realized, I enjoyed that chapter of my life, but I'm also enjoying this new chapter where I'm trying new things, and I have moved on from the world of entertainment, which is what he was a part of. So very interesting. I talk about expectations right before this. Our house is under construction. There's drama going on there. We have a leak somewhere in our house, and there's just been a flood of expectations in the past couple of days. I've asked my husband not to be on a group chat with our construction company because, lots going on. And I know it's like, he doesn't need that stress in his life. I'll take that on. And in the process, I am seeing everything going through my messages. And, unfortunately, I keep relaying the information to him. But I put it on myself that this needs to be, what's expected of me. And this is my project. And this is something that I'm going to take care of for the two of us. So definitely.
I didn't realize that's how you were viewing it. I thought you just didn't want. I thought she just didn't want me in the voice chat because she knows that I would yell at the people who have been. We have some shady construction people.
Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of different things, but just again, the past couple of days, there have been a lot of expectations of trying to figure out some big house-related crises. So, anyways, let's. There's a lot of great talk going on. Let's see.
Even more.
Oh wow, you guys are. I love this. Well, thank you guys for encouraging the puppy squeaking and stuff. Okay, here, hon. You do it.
Lots of love for the pup.
Oh, love good. Thank you. Yeah, we really appreciate this energy coming from him. So, as annoying as it can be, this is secretly the best thing ever for us.
Deidre found it good.
Oh, good.
Good deal. Sorry, I can barely reach. You see how to put the things there?
Okay, here. You know what? Let's just switch. We're gonna switch it over because he usually does all the scrolling and stuff and knows how to work the program. So
we don't have kids. We do have a toddler-sized Frenchie. All right. I'll leave him with his toy. He's brought out all of his toys and he's been going nuts with them. And I also think I think he might be acting out a little bit too because his I don't want to say the D word, DINNER, but I think he can spell. He just looked at me. Unfortunately, his food delivery was late, and he knows. Like if we miss the schedule, he gets real mad about it. And so, fortunately, did the food come?
The food did come, so I'm actually going to go grab it real quick while you guys start the conversation before this one goes insane.
Yeah.
So I will
so
be right
talk
back.
about expectations. Yes. He expects to be fed
this guy has
very
major
soon.
Okay.
Tanya says, that was great. I missed last week. It felt good to find the flow again. Well, I'm glad you made it back to us. And it's so nice to be able to just kind of point your mind in a different direction. I know that we all kind of have our own version of autopilot, made up of like a collection of our own personal stories and our identities and also everything that's going on in the world and how we feel about all that and everything like that. And, you can get yourself into a certain mode, which, may or may not help you. But one of my favorite things about prompts like this is just that you can point your mind into a different direction, and kind of break yourself out of a box or a certain way of being. And oftentimes, when I should speak for myself, when I find myself out of flow, it's so helpful to have something like that can break you out of your perspective and show you some new perspective. And it kind of it's like it breaks up all the blockages. It allows for that flow to happen, just because like you're not, stubbornly standing in the way. At least that's what I do. I catch myself all the time just needing things to be a certain way, and then like, oh, you think about something a little bit differently, and suddenly everything starts moving again. So glad you made it back. Glad you found it all right. Rex says squeaky boy, very squeaky. He also needs his nails trimmed. He's click-clacking all over the place. Just skitters all over the house. Tori says, please don't take it away. It makes me so happy. I'm out of town right now, and I miss my baby so much. Yeah. Oh, we're the same way. Like, we were on our honeymoon, and like I would say probably a third of the time we were just like, I wonder what Bowie's doing right now. We're like in Bora Bora. It's gorgeous. And yeah, all we could think about was our little fur baby here. Carrie says, I have 4 dogs used to the squeakers. I think we lost our tunes. Let me get some tunage back on for us. And that was weird. Letty says his energy. You guys love the pup. We should have him host one of these one time. Actually, I think we do have at least one pet program or two, like this, just like a tribute to our pets and stuff inside a Journal Party. Maybe we'll do that one for fun one time, and everybody can bring their pets, so we can have some guest stars on here. That'll be fun. Angela liked it. Good. I like it. My favorite's when we went over the newbies, and when someone's like new, and then at the end they're like, yeah, I'm like, one of us. I hope you come back. Geeky Witch says, squeakies are just fine. I currently have a 13-year-old screaming bruh every 30 seconds while playing on the Xbox. Oh man. You probably have the download of all like the new lingo. Like I can't understand what these kids are talking about these days. And I know I'm like kind of a kid myself, but even so, like once it got into like the Gen A's making content and stuff, like skibbity what? I don't know. Actually, I do know about that one. I have one of my nieces explain it to me. Rex says, felt natural, but the focus made it seem faster, I think. These were great prompts tonight. Yeah, I mean, one of the cool things about doing the prompts with the timers is that it really keeps you kind of moving and not ruminating. And that's one of the traps that a lot of people fall into with journaling is, you can kind of circle an idea and just, find yourself repeating certain things and certain ideas. And, these prompts are, not only are they thematic, but they're designed to be progressive in a lot of cases, where it's a bit of a journey to where like we want you to start, or we want you to end up in a different place than when you started. And so one prompt can often lead to the next, and we often like to end with prompts that give you a bit of of food for thought for how you're going to bring this out and into the real world. And so I think that's pretty useful to have a focused and productive session. But one of the other cool things about Journal Party is you probably couldn't have seen it because we had it covered up with the tickers, but inside of the app and the platform, there's player controls. So, sometimes when I do these programs myself, like if I know I've got more pages in me on a certain prompt, like I'll hit the pause button, or I'll skip a prompt that's just not, I can't think of a thing that, made me feel X, Y, and Z or whatever. And that's totally okay. I think like, if you don't have the perfect answers coming up, like never sweat it. I think just the act of like prompting your brain, giving it something to chew on, and then also creating some space for it to actually be creative with that input that you've given it. The results are just, I think hopefully they speak for themselves. Geeky Witch says, I agree, Alex. I think this is one that will be revisited more often. Yeah. And, whether, if you got premium, you can, open up any of those programs anytime you want and move around. But also, pro tip, all of these Journal Party Lives live as replays in both our website. So you can go to journalparty.com or just on YouTube. If you subscribe to us on YouTube, somewhere in there, hopefully we make it easy for you. But all of the replays are hosted there. And so if you ever, want to just hop in and relive one of these sessions, feel free to do so. Shanda says, this was a great one for finding what I need to focus on.
Nice.
Good. Yeah. Right. Like if you don't know like what you're after, it's hard. It's hard to get it, or at least feel the satisfaction of getting it. So it's good. Tanya says, Rex, I agree. I really had to stop and think. Good. Good. Handwriting analysis. We got my silent pressure is my inflated list of things I expect of myself, more than I can physically do in a day. So it leaves me feeling I didn't do enough. I see that a lot in people's handwritings. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you bring up some interesting concepts, right? Like, what is enough? And, you know, I think like we develop our own ideas of what is enough based off of like, you know, what we think others' ideas are, and like that, how disconnected is that from like reality and your own reality? And so it's really good to, you know, kind of get in touch with like with a little bit of like, you know, humility and honesty about like what you're doing to yourself. I know that like on prompts like these, it's not always easy, because usually like I can point all of whatever my frustrations are right back at myself. It's like, okay, like I get all this stuff is going on out there, but like what's going on in here is actually what I'm like the battle for me. And so, you know, to be able to like, okay, like maybe I just need to be a little bit nicer to myself. I mean, that I don't know what came up in your stuff, but that's one that comes up for me all the time. It's like, you know, I had a pretty big revelation one time, a few weeks ago, where she was like, all right, like, you know, I love the idea of being my own boss, but like I realized I was being a bad boss to myself. I was being mean to myself. It's like, well, let me be the best boss ever, you know? So good stuff. Angela says, this challenge is exactly where I am in life right now. A self-awareness moment. Amazing. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, all of this stuff boils down to self-awareness. You know, there's so many. You can read books and learn stuff, and you know, you can go out and do stuff. All that stuff is great. Like, you know, it's good to go and engage with the world. But oftentimes, I think a lot of us, you know, I catch myself personally like repeating things that I'm not sure about, or like because I heard someone say it with confidence or something like that, or you know, there's somebody I really like and I admire what they have, and so I want to maybe take what they do and what they, you know, preach or say as like, you know, the gospel for me. And I think the reality is like, well, we all have a little bit of wisdom that we can tap into within ourselves, and you know, cultivating that self-awareness is so important, because it's like, okay, well, at any given moment you get to decide how you're going to show up. And I think that's the problem, is most of us, you know, aren't doing that most of the time. And so to create some space for yourself to say like, okay, like here's what's going on under the hood. Here's how I feel about it. Here's the distance between what is happening and what I want to happen. And so like, how am I going to like consciously contribute to that? And you can't do that without self-awareness. So, you know, I'm really glad that you found that on this. Kathy says, the silent pressure is the need to do everything perfectly without any complaints or selfishness. It comes from childhood expectations and comparisons to other family members. Yeah, well, hey, we just did that one about, you know, a little bit of comparison, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think we're all just trying to, you know, to do our best, hopefully. But, you know, we all also accumulate these stories, and we're the main characters in our stories. And, you know, it's almost impossible not to like develop a sense of identity that you then have to defend within the confines of this story. And so, you know, it's not to say that that's not a real thing that is happening, but, you know, certainly it's not something that is only happening to us. Like, we are a participant in all of this stuff. And so, you know, to be able to just take a look, and then, you know, with a bit of that conscious awareness, show up how you actually want to show up and honor like this one experience of your life that you've been given. You know, I think that leads to better results. You know, life's a doozy though. And so, you know, at the very least, hey, we're documenting it, and, you know, hopefully a bit of wisdom comes out of that as well. Geeky Witch says, the silent pressure for me was being the strong and resilient one, to never complain or never show weakness. And that tends to work until it boils over and it gets messy. Right. And then when that happens, like, you know, that's when you look the weakest, or when I look the weakest, is when I can't keep it together because I'm trying so hard to keep it together. And the crazy thing is like, as I get older and share, you know, experiences with people and try to, you know, discover my own truth and share that with people, you know, I find that there's a lot of the things that I'm looking for with like posturing and, you know, like trying to be strong or like, for me, it's like, I want to be clever. I want to be smart. Like I want people to think I'm like creative and like, you know, that I work hard and everything like that. And it's like, okay, like, sure. Like, you know, those are good things, I think, right? You know, you try, but like what people actually like respond to and open up to and like where I actually get a lot of love is like, well, when I'm just real and vulnerable with people, because
100%.
I mean, and think about it, it makes sense, right? Because it's like, well, you doing that kind of gives other people permission to do that themselves. And, you know, I mean, you know what kind of weight you're holding. Everybody's got one. And so to like be like, man, this is hard, something, you know, like whatever it is, like to show up in that moment of vulnerability, like someone else can go like, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing when people can start taking off the armor and really get vulnerable with one another.
Totally. Carrie says, Kathy, I can so relate to that. I had an enormous amount of responsibilities placed on me at a very young age, and I still feel like I need to handle many things completely on my own. Yeah, you know, I brush into that or bump into that a little bit. I have a hard, like, because I know how hard I work, and like it's taken me a lot to like trust myself. And I also, you know, share that sort of that like, oh, I need to do it on my own. But a lot of it's like, well, am I not trusting people and giving them an opportunity to like to help when they want to? And actually, I mean, you know, I don't know how much this relates to what you're saying here, but I mean, some of the biggest unlocks in my life have been when I have given myself permission to not do something alone and accept help and actually trust that people are going to do a good job. It's hard. I mean, because especially these days, I feel like I unfortunately collect more and more evidence that people don't give a damn. And that's hard to deal with, but I don't know. I think there's maybe a difference here. You know, there's a difference between like kind of, talk about expectations, right? Like I expect that when the cable guy gives me a 4-hour window that he's not showing up until 2 hours after it, unfortunately, right? People let you down in that regard. But like, you know, the people that I think that you've already let in, you know, that you have some degree of trust, who, you know, express that, you know, maybe being willing and able to help you out. Like I don't want to speak too much on your situation because I don't know it, but at least personally, in the moments when I'm feeling like I have to like carry the torch all by myself, or it's not going to get done right or something like that, usually there are people around me who are happy to lighten the load. And when I do allow them to do that, I'm actually able to do things better, just because I'm not so overwhelmed. So I don't know. Sorry if I spoke too much on top of your experience there, but appreciate the share. Rex says, the silent pressure was expecting to follow a path through higher education and conventional employment options when that's just objectively not the best for my temperament in many ways. Yeah, I resonate with that one quite a bit. There was quite a template for success in my household growing up, and I wrote about that a lot here. And, my journey has been learning over and over again that like, hey, like all those things are great. I don't think that they're not valuable, but a lot of the things that I thought I wanted were maybe me just, acting like I wanted them to, fit somebody else's idea of, and that creates a weird feedback loop because they probably want to see you thrive and be happy and stuff like that. Right. So over and over again, I'm having to learn that I'm my own person with my own unique set of strengths, and that, to follow my heart and natural inclinations, where I think where it's, honest and stuff it's led me to a lot more fulfillment versus like trying to fit myself into a mold that I'm just never going to fit into. So
Absolutely, yeah.
talk about self-awareness there. Awesome, Rex. Carrie says, we have to spell things out in front of our dogs too. I'm convinced my dog can spell at this point. She's like, W-A-L-K, and he's like, with his one ear. Ridiculous. Kathy, Carrie, I suffer from only child superheroism and perfectionism. Interesting.
That is interesting because, we come from a household with, he's got 2 brothers, I've got a sister. And so there's always that comparison between the two. So it's interesting just, how growing up as an only child versus siblings, can affect us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your sister was an only child for a long time.
For like the first 10 years. So.
Yeah, I feel like the only children in my life. Yeah, definitely. It's a totally different journey,
and they have and you have different childhoods and experiences with your parents. And it's just as you get older as an adult, we're always like comparing and contrasting things with our own siblings, being like, oh, so that's how you saw it and that's how you experienced it, but this is how I took it in, and it's fascinating how
we're all on our own ride, but we're on it together. So.
Yeah.
Carrie says, Kathy, it truly is hard. I am the oldest of 2, and I was definitely the one who was expected to be perfect, while my brother was praised for barely meeting expectations. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to complain about my situation, and then I remembered that I have an older brother who had so it's funny. My household consists of 3 brothers. My older brother is like 10 years older than I am, and he was like the template for success. Went to Harvard, was in the Marine Corps, Wall Street, made a bunch of money, super successful, everything, right? And then I think I was parented accordingly, but also with certain expectations because of that template that he set and those shoes that had to be filled. But it's kind of funny because like I definitely got a reduced version of like the discipline that produced him. And I wonder if he had any resentment about that, seeing it, because he saw my younger brother and I growing up. But what's funny is like by the time it was like to my youngest brother, like my parents were just like, whatever. I think like my older brother and I are just like, what do you mean he got to do that? Like, what do you mean he got away with murder?
Oh yeah, I got away with murder compared to my sister. I mean, yeah, it's just, again, it's so interesting, the dynamics and the age differences and how you end up essentially being parented very, very differently and just having completely different experiences.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a lot of what I wrote about tonight was something that you kind of touched on in the end there, being praised. And like, it's like, man, like so much of like these weird little, things that I've accumulated, like, idiosyncratic behavior and stuff like that. It's like, oh, like how much of that came out of like me just trying to like find my way and be loved. And it's like, the irony is like, I don't think anybody that I was pining for that love from like would ever want to deny it to me, but like we're all just dealing with our own limited data sets and like our own stories and sets of experience, and hopefully trying to do our best. So what's happened, it's happened. It's good to like, I think, internalize how that has produced the now, but also I think like as much as possible, like a little grace and forgiveness for everybody you share the journey with, just because it's like, this isn't easy.
And we're all doing it for the first time. I think that's also a interesting way of, especially thinking about your parents and stuff. I mean, they're trying their best. They're doing everything for the first time too. It's just fascinating family dynamics.
Kathy said, my ex made it worse with expecting me to be like a perfect Stepford wife, molding me to his idea of married life. It began to erode my self-worth and confidence. I lost my goals and molded to his stuff. That's tough. Dominant personalities can really do that. I mean, you were talking about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, for sure. No, there was an expectation, that you were being seen with me, you were being, it compared to me, or, so there's a lot of pressure. So I understand that. And, Kathy, before I met this great man, I too dated some interesting folks who also behaved in that manner, and there was expectations put on me that were not realistic, and it took everything out of me, and it made me a miserable human. So,
which is kind of surprising for me to hear, because like I don't know, like one of the reasons I think that like I gravitated towards you as a partner was because like I know you have zero tolerance for like my bullshit.
Well, that's what happens after years of tolerating so much bullshit that, and then thankfully taking a break from dating and just being in lots of therapy and doing all the hard work, you realize, oh, wait a minute. No. This is who I really am. This is what I'm going to tolerate, what I'm not going to tolerate. So, at any point in your life, if you guys can find time for it, if you need to work on this in this specific area, please do, because the future you will be so thankful. And yeah, you don't have to live in that mindset forever.
Got Rex says, yeah, there felt like a very clear thread between the prompts. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And yes, hugs to you, Kathy, 100%.
Oh, okay. This is a continuation. First one started off kind of heavy, but later ones brought in more energy. Yeah, we've got stuff that's like, some of the stuff cuts deep, especially some of the stuff that I put through the mental health board. And we resisted doing that for a long time because we didn't have that. And like, I would never want to lead somebody to a difficult place if we didn't at least feel confident that like there was some sort of like grounding there that backs up why we would lead anybody there.
Yes, we are huge advocates for mental health and also working with licensed people. So even in a program like this, or there's some deeper programs on our website and our app and stuff, we always say we are not mental health professionals. Thankfully, we have this amazing board that Alex came up with and has gathered these amazing minds, but if anything gets triggered, that's, bigger than, can be dealt with in a little chat like this right now. Definitely, if you have access to it, please seek professional help, because it is the lifesaver. For
sure. Kathy says, thanks, Carrie, but I'm getting better every day and finding my true self in the process of breathing. Yes, and don't forget to breathe. Breathe and
good for you, Kathy.
Smiling and breathing as much as possible through this thing. Like, this life can be very, very heavy. And I think like I'm learning that like if I don't inject moments of lightness and like allow myself to breathe and give myself that space, that like, you can get taken for a bit of a ride. Like all the things happening can sweep you away. But, with a little bit of conscious awareness and, mindfulness and presence, I mean, I know I just dumped a lot of buzzwords there, but, like you're the only one who can do that for yourself, right? So, proud of you, Kathy.
Yes, need lots of love, Kathy.
Gabby, you got a new screen name, Gabby. Arts by Gabby. Late to the party. Well, you made it. Carrie says, I'm glad, Kathy. Keep on going. Gabby's actually the oldest.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kathy says, my mom had her own blueprint, and I so totally destroyed that when I became a teen mom. The foundation was laid, and I achieved the ones that fit who I am, but I'm remodeling so much in my life. Well, you know what? The thing that's clear to me through all of your responses, Kathy, is that we talk a lot about showing up, and hopefully, like you're, like my goal for a lot of this is just so that you can cultivate enough awareness to show up, and advocate for yourself, and also just show up as the kind of person that you want to be in your life. And, we only get that understanding and that wisdom through a little bit of self-reflection, I think. And so, it's just clear to me how consciously you've shown up in your life, not just for yourself, but for your loved ones. And, it's not always going to be, maybe appreciated in the ways that you want it to be appreciated. But I mean, if it's at all helpful, like we see,
Oh yeah, and I just keep thinking of just how capable you are. I mean, just the little that I know through what you've written, you are so capable of working through this and getting to the other side. And I'm just so happy that you do the work and you're so aware, and you're just, something I brought it up in a previous live that we did, but there's something called Be the Buffalo. So basically, it's something that my mom shared with my family, and it's from Wilma Mankiller. She was the first female chief of the Cherokee Nation, and she says when there's a big storm coming, cows run in the opposite direction, whereas buffaloes run through it and get through it faster. So be the buffalo, and you are being the buffalo, and you have been, you are the buffalo. So just keep in mind that you are doing the work, and you are, I just love your awareness. Like, talk about self-awareness. I mean, you are just fully aware of, the cards you've been dealt. And I just love that you are working through them every single day. Clearly.
Respect.
Major respect.
Angela said, exactly. I was a teen mom too, Kathy, so I understand. I mean, look, I'm not a teen mom, but I love that we've created a space where people can find, some, different walks of life to get visibility on, but also a little bit of common ground and connection. It's good to affirm each other.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy says, a quiet relief day looks like being on my own schedule and not others, where there's time to be creative and share it with others freely, and then sleep uninterrupted, no responsibilities. Well, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm down. Carrie says, your thoughts are spot on, Alex. I'm very lucky to have a very caring husband, and I know he is more than willing to carry part of that burden if I'll let him. Yeah. Let him. Rex says, yes, public school can only account for individualities between students up to a certain point, but sometimes that sends confusing messages to people who probably would have been informed differently. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's funny, right? Because like there's that whole track and everything that, happens in like our school system. And, there's a lot of people thrive in it. You put certain people on a track and they're going to, grease the wheels and go. But, some of the greatest minds ever are, don't fit that mold. But then, like years later, it's like, oh, they're, they're the kind of people, because they see things differently. They discover, they discover new things, or, they make a piece of art that changes, the way, somebody who has been on that track is thinking and executes. It's all interwoven, and I think we're all like a piece in that puzzle. Like, and I think that's another thing that I think excites me, is just the idea of like figuring out who you are relative to this world, and again, how you want to show up. And we all have our own unique gifts. We all have our own unique stories, and it's all really, really beautiful if you allow it to weave into this life. I mean, we may have different ways that we would judge it good or bad based off of those stories, I think. But if you zoom out, like, it's hard not to see the beauty in our diversity, in internal and external. If resources were less stretched, yeah, I wrote a little bit of that about that on mine. Kathy says, you're totally fine, Alex, because many feel that way. I want the help, but I do it better my way, and I'm used to being overwhelmed by self-imposed need to do it all without help. Yeah, well, I think I kind of like maybe erroneously wear it as like a badge of honor, or something like that. Like, oh, look how hard look at how much struggle I had. Therefore I'm enough, and it's just like, fortunately, I've found my way to enough, people who actually love me and not what I'm doing or my accomplishments or achievements, and you realize, oh, you are inherently enough, and all this other stuff is just buying into that story, which can be fun, but can also be painful. Kathy says, my kids sit here and tell me how they were all raised differently, and with the different expectations I had of them, I didn't realize I did that, honestly, and I apologize often. Hey, look, like a little.
Kathy, you're human.
Yeah. Well, and I was, these days, the phone calls that I have with my mom are obviously a lot different than, the conversations we would have had when I was her, a child to her. And now she gets to hear, some of the things that, how I've internalized things, or like, I'll come out of therapy and I'll be like, yeah, I'm going through this because of this. And I don't know, I let it out. I'm pretty, honest about, the way certain things like left a mark on me or whatever. And I've been surprised at how often she's been surprised by that. She's like, oh my God, I didn't realize it. And of course not, because in her shoes, through her eyes, like
through her set of experiences,
it all looks really different. And, fortunately, I know that the love is there, and that's all that really matters. And, with all the other stuff, it's like, well, that's what journaling and therapy are for. Mm-hmm. Kathy says, Alex learned what she wouldn't tolerate after going through the BS. Yeah,
I know. Exactly. And I will never turn back. And that is the Alex that you have today. I will never tolerate anyone else's BS. So it's a beautiful thing to have done the work and to be on the other side.
It works both ways.
Yeah.
We're both, I think we both have a pretty good meter for the other person's, like when the BS is getting out of control, and we both rated it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think we're good. Mm-hmm. Carrie says, Kathy, I have faced the same thing with my two oldest, saying that about their younger sibling getting away with so much more than they did. I think part of it is just we become more relaxed as parents, for sure. Yeah. Oh, my mom was like, I'm not doing this again with you.
Like, I've already fought this fight, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. He says, thanks for identifying with me. Love going around. Love it. This is why I love coming here every week, because I get to see my growth. Yeah. I mean, and whether you come here or not, like, I hope you see the power of journaling as part of that as well. Because, it's like, as we write, we pour all of this out onto the page, we turn the page and we continue living our lives. And, sometimes like you don't realize how far you've come until you actually like see the journey. And like one of the coolest things is just, being able to literally flip back through your own journey and see how, some of the things that materialized, some of the assumptions that you had, the stuff that you were going through that you thought was going to end your world, that like you hadn't thought of, that so much time has passed, you haven't even thought about it. And it's like, all these things, I think, in a weird way, I think it gives us a sort of superpower, self-awareness. Carrie says, I love that. Going to use that as my mantra this next week, and be the buffalo.
Yes, it is.
All right.
It's an awesome saying, and definitely keep that in mind.
There's a little Easter egg in the Journal Party app. There is a buffalo character as a tribute to the Be the Buffalo thing. When I was making all the characters, I was like, what kind of animal should I make? She's like, buffalo.
Hello.
Maritza Martinez, thank you so much. I did my journal writing. I enjoyed it. We'll see you next week. Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, all right, everyone. Well, I think now that our pup's food has been delivered, he's given up on stomping around and making as much noise as possible. I think he's made himself heard. But I think again, talk about expectations. This boy expects to be fed. And so, folks, I want to thank you once again for journaling with us. Newbies, welcome to the party. It's so awesome to see this thing growing every week. We're still, small but mighty. And, that said, there's so much love here, and I'm so proud of this group and the way that we always come together and the willingness to do deep work on yourself. It is, I'm so proud of you all for that. It's not the easiest thing to do, but what a gift to the rest of the world, to when you close your journal, to go out with a little bit more conscious awareness and, whatever is going on. I think we do have the ability to, examine our state of being and hopefully, tune it to what it is that you want, to your life to be and how you want it to feel. And so again, thank you so much for doing this work with us. If there's anybody out there in the who's in the challenge, thank you so much for signing up for the challenge. Do let me know how you're finding that, you can send me an email at alex@journalparty.com. And I'm thinking, maybe we put together like a little private sesh for the challengers at some point. So, let me know if that's something that you're interested in. And I think that's about it for all the housekeeping stuff. If anybody's in San Diego,
So on Sunday, May 17th, we are doing another journal party in-person event at a wonderful space. It's called Your Space Collective. It's a vintage shop, but also an artist co-op that two of my lady friends in San Diego have started, and it is an incredible business. And it's, they have all sorts of, breath work and tarot cards and all sorts of really interesting, cool events there. And so we will be there this Sunday, May 17th. You can see we have some marketing materials on our Instagram that has all the details and the things you can look forward to. And I hope one day we get to go outside of Southern California and do
Party
live
in
events.
person.
Exactly. But we're starting close to home in San Diego. So you happen to be out there, please check it out. We would love to see you.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, rest of your week. And as always,
Party on.
party on.